Hi, second graders. The book that I'm going to read to you today is called Hey Al. It's by Arthur Yorinks and illustrated by Richard Egielski. Now, it is a fantasy book. We've been doing a lot of fantasy books lately, and I want you to see the front and back covers of this book. There's definitely a lot going on there. You can see that this is a Caldecott metal book, which means it has amazing illustrations. This is our main character, Al, and this is his little dog, Eddie. And I have a feeling we're going to find more about these creatures as we read. So sometimes when you're reading a fantasy book, the author wants you to think about your life. They are trying to teach you a lesson. So as you listen, I want you to be thinking about what this author wants you to learn. Okay? Hey, Al. Al, a nice man, a quiet man, a janitor, lived in one room on the west side with his faithful dog, Eddie. They ate together, they worked together, they watched TV together. What could be bad? So far, it doesn't seem like a fantasy. This looks like a pretty ordinary um, place for him to live. Not fancy. What could be bad? Plenty. Look at this dump, Eddie growled. We can't have a house, a little backyard to run around in for a change. Oh, sure, Al snapped. Today it's a house you want. Tomorrow, who knows? Maybe the moon. The moon? The moon? Eddie howled. Pigeons live better than us. No, life wasn't easy for Al and Eddie. They were always working, always struggling, and it was always something. Now I can see that it's a little bit fantastic that Eddie the dog is talking. They're having a conversation with each other. One morning, while Al was shaving, a voice called to him. Hey, Al, it said. Al turned and saw a bird, a large bird. Al, said the bird, are you working too hard? Still struggling and going nowhere? Listen, have I got a place for you? No worries, no cares. It's terrific. Huh? Al said. He was confused. Al, you need a change. Tomorrow, come and be my guest. Eddie, too. You'll see, you'll love it. And then with a few flaps, the bird was gone. You can imagine that evening's conversation. Eddie was already packing. What? Just quit my job? Al said. There's more to life than Miles did, but that's it. We're going. I don't want to hear another word. And at dawn, they were both in the bathroom waiting. So I wonder if they'll go with the bird. I think so because he's got a suitcase here and Eddie's waiting for him. But I don't think Al is so sure about it. He's kind of looking at that feather. Now I can see why this is a fantasy, because this can't really be found in real life. You know, a talking bird and talking dog. The large bird appeared, and Al and Eddie were ferried thousands of feet upward to an island in the sky. Wow, this is definitely fantastic. An island in the sky. And I don't know if you can see, but it looks like this mountain almost looks like a bird's head with a beak. That's definitely something you can't see in real life. Unbelievable. Lush trees, rolling hills, gorgeous grass, birds flitted to and fro, waterfalls cascaded into shimmering pools. Would you look at this view? Eddie said. Wow, said Al. all those birds. Looks like they're all welcoming Al and his little dog. Birds sang and brought them food. They ate, they drank, they swam, they sunbathed. They had never had it so good. So, Al, is this so terrible? The large bird asked. What a life, Al cooed. A guy could live like this forever. The days passed blissfully. As memories of their old life slowly faded, Al and Eddie decided that this was ecstasy. And I think that the word ecstasy, kind of judging from the words around it, must mean like really, really amazing happiness. That's a beautiful place compared to their apartment. Looks like they really like their new life. But ripe fruit soon spoils. One morning, Al woke up and shrieked, Eddie, look at us! We're turning into birds! Indeed, their eyes were a little beady, their noses a bit beak-like. We've got to get out of here, he croaked. Wings sprouted, tail feathers plumed. Oh my gosh, look at the little dog. He's got like a duck face. They do not look happy about that change. Take us back! Take us back! Eddie quacked. I don't want to be a bird. He definitely is more like a duck. Look at his little paws. I'd rather mop floors, he honked as they both flapped furiously and rose into the air. Eddie, be careful! Follow me, he squawked. But Eddie, in a frenzy, was flying in circles higher and higher. Exhausted, straining to stay aloft, he plunged into the open sea and was gone. What is happening here? They definitely aren't liking this change. Look at him, he's trying to fly off. Al barely made it home in one piece. Alone, without his friend, he was heartbroken. Thinking of my story hill right now and definitely having a lot of ideas about changes of feelings as this character moves through this story. But fortunately, Eddie was a talented swimmer, and in no time he found his way back to the west side. Eddie! Al cried. Oh, Al! Paradise lost is sometimes heaven found. So I think there's been a big feelings change here. And I'm guessing because they're kind of painting their little house that maybe they're starting to appreciate their life. So as I'm thinking about the story map, I'm starting to think that people can change their feelings after they have a certain experience. So in this story, Al and Eddie were not satisfied with their lives. And when they had a chance to change their lives, they had something pretty major happen to them. And when they'd had that experience of going to the island in the sky with the birds, they had a big, big feelings change. So the setting in the story also changed. The characters acted different after they'd been in the different settings. So if you look right here, he's not very excited about his life. They're dissatisfied with the current setting that they're in. He's not happy, especially the little dog is not happy with the setting that they're in. But then when their setting changes and they're in this amazing, fantastic setting, they have a big change of feelings. They're happy, they're satisfied, they think it's ecstasy. Then they have another big change when they realize that in order to stay there, they're going to turn into birds. And so then when they go back, their original setting doesn't seem so bad anymore, and their feelings change again. In fact, they decide to make their setting a little bit better. I'm noticing that they fixed the ceiling and it's kind of tidied up. So now a part of the story map, the story hill, is the message of the story. And as I was reading this, the very last page, it says, Paradise lost is sometimes heaven found. And I was thinking, paradise is this amazing place. And they were there, and the bird place was kind of paradise. But then when they lost it, they realized that their own place was pretty amazing, and that maybe they should have been happy with their own life to begin with. They could have made it a little bit better. So anyway, that story is called Hey Al, and now I want you to go to Schoology in this week's assignments, and I want you to complete the story hill for Hey Al. See you later.